Today, I want to show you a super cool way for you to be able to create whatever type of database you want and to be able to put stuff directly into that database without you having to touch a line of code or anything like that. For a long time, this wasn't possible, which is the original reason why I moved away from Notion. But now that we can do this, I'm telling you, it is fantastic. So, hypothetically speaking, let's say that I'm watching a TV show or something like that and I get a content idea. Then, how do I archive it? Well, I used to have to put it into OmniFocus. I no longer put my ideas into OmniFocus. Now I put it into a master idea database. Let me show you. So let's say I say add entry, and let's say that let's say I'm watching a TV show, and let's say I think of something for Will Talk Tech. Let's say it's just an idea because I haven't done any research on it. It says, what's your idea? Let's say we're going to click into it. I'm going to use the onboard keyboard because it's back to glitching. I'm going to say my ideal is Notion app. It's going to say, what did you have in mind? I'm going to say create video about automation. Then I'm going to say done. Now, you can see that is finished. I could literally do that from my cell phone or anywhere, and I don't have to worry about that anymore. Now, if we go over to Notion really quickly, let's go over to Notion, and let's see where did that entry end up at. And right now, I'm on my master content pipeline, and if I scroll down to Wheel Talk Tech, look, it's right here. Notion app, create a video. But look what happened when I open it up. It automatically gives me a few parameters, which is, since I know this is a video, it automatically gives me the skeleton of a template for when I'm doing videos. When I tell you this is freaking fantastic, like, it is awesome. Now, before I show you how to do this for yourself, really quickly, if you didn't watch part one where I teach you about Notamate, how to set it up, how to just quickly capture stuff into Notion as a whole, then I highly recommend you watch that video first because this one is, be it a little bit more advanced. I don't really want to use the word advanced because I don't want you to think it's super hard because it's not. But it is more advanced than that one. You do need to know a little bit about Notamate. In that video, I teach you that. It's going to be the first link in the description. You can watch that one first and then come back to this one. No worries. Now, with that out the way, let me show you the tools that we need to get this done. So we're going to close out of here. We're going to actually close out all this stuff. And we're going to open up the App Store. The first thing we need is Notamate. This tool right here is Notamate. Again, this is a super powerful tool. I'll walk you through how to set it up in the video below. The next one we're going to need is Shortcuts. This is Shortcuts by Apple. And this, as you know, I'm a fanboy. This is a fantastic automation tool. And then the last one, be it optional, I highly recommend it, is Data Jar. And I also have a video teaching you about Data Jar. I'll link that one up below as well. So you can see this right here is Data Jar. Basically, think of it as a way to store reusable content or data or information. It is super simple to use and very intuitive. So highly recommend it. And it's free. You can't beat free. So once you have those set up, now it's time for us to move on to our very first step. Before we dive into shortcuts and start building out our shortcut, it's a few things, a few assets we need to do so that we can have them when we get to building out the shortcut. So the very first thing we need to do is create a database. Now, I have a content pipeline database, which is a master database, but you may not be a content creator. So what I'm going to show you how to do is to set up a really cool task manager database, which is going to be your master task list. Just remember, you can make this as sophisticated as you want or simplistic as you want. It's 100% up to you. Let me show you how to do it. All right, so here we are at my Notion dashboard. I'm just going to come down here to any line, and I'm going to create a database. And you can see right here it says database full page. That's what I want. And what I want to do is I want to start right here. I'm going to say master task list. Now, while this isn't a tutorial about Notion, what I will say is this. If you want to get the biggest bang for your buck with setting up this automation, you want it to be a master task list. You want everything to flow into that one list, and then you're able to filter it based on specific assets or categories that you see fit. That I'm going to show you how to do it, but just keep in mind that's how you want to do it. You don't want a lot of different databases, especially when it comes to your task manager or your content management system or anything else, because we're using Notion, we have that flexibility to filter and siphon that database however we want to. So there's no reason to create multiple different databases for multiple different categories. All right. So first things first, since this is going to be a task manager, we need to change this name, and we're going to have it called task name. All right. The next one right here, I'm going to actually have this as, I think it's going to be a select. I'm going to use a select. So let me click right here. And this is going to be for effort. This is how I set mine up. Obviously, you can do yours however you see fit. And for mine, my effort is going to be easy. It's going to be medium. It's going to be hard. And it's going to be insane. All right. So now I can go out of there. I could just click on it, make sure it's set up the way I want it. I can put easy, medium, hard, insane. So easy, I would like that to be green. So I can say done. And we're going to say medium. I would like that to be, we could say yellow. Hard, I'm going to have it as, I want it to be like purple. And then insane, I can leave that as that color. And I'm going to remove that. Then I'm going to say done. The next one I want it to say is type. Type is going to, you can look at the word type as another way of saying category. So it's a way for us to filter and sift our different information inside this database. So for type, we're going to have it as, I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to say plus right here. And we're going to have it as select. And I'm going to have this as type. And then I'm going to say add options. So let's say I might have something to do from the home. I might have a work task. I might have something to do with my kids. It might be at friends, or it just might be personal. So this is going to be my categories. I can always come up in here and add more. So I'm cool with that. And then the last one is going to be notes. So this is going to be a text box, and it's going to be notes. And this is just anything I need to remind myself to do to ensure I get things done. So I'm gonna stretch that all the way out, and there we have it. So now I can write in that note field. So as you can see, this is our simple database. All right, now I can come over here and, well, I can't change it to full page because it should already be a full page. But if you didn't have full page, then you could have changed it there. I'm doing this on my iPad. So the next thing we need to do is I want to create a template. So now that we have the database completed, there's one more thing we need to do in the database, and that is we need to link the integration. If we come over here, you should already have an Automate Complete installed, and you come down here to where it says connections, you can see that I have Automate, M2 iPad integration. I'm on my M2 iPad integration, so I'm going to click right there and say confirm. Once I do that, now Automate can actually see this database. Prior to me doing that, we can set up the integration, but Automate doesn't see that integration because Automate, once you activate it and give it access to Notion, is not seeing every single page you ever create. It's only seeing what you add that connection to, which is a nice level of security. So you want to make sure you do that step because if not, your shortcut is going to error out every time. So now that we have this completed, now what I want to do is I want to head over to Data Jar. All right, so here we are at Data Jar. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say plus, and I'm going to say, I can call this Master Task Manager. And for this, I can create a quick template, but I'm just going to ask myself a few questions. such as, all right, so I put three quick questions, which is creating an outline of what needs to happen to complete this task, where can I find pockets of time in my day, and what's the current status of this task. So now I'm going to say save. And now that that's saved, I'm actually complete. You can see it's down here, Master Task Manager. As I was doing that, I noticed something that I probably should have over here. So I'm going to add one more thing, which is going to be a checkbox. So once this task is completed, I want to be able to check it off. So I'm going to say completed. And we can take this completed. I can drag it like that. Then I could drag this all the way to the front. So as I'm finished, I could just tick them off. And I can create a filter on this. So if this is checked, that no longer shows no more and it moves to a different view. But again, that's outside the scope of this video. But just know, you have a lot of flexibility here. The last thing I should do is I'm going to add one more. And I'm going to say status. So now you can see not started and progress done. So we could do this, but I kind of want to do my own. So I'm going to just make a select box. So let's see, select one. That's going to be status. All right, so not started and progress done. And I just need one more. Let's see here. I'm going to say plus, and I'm going to say drop. All right, we can say dropped. And that's it. And now I can rearrange these and it's all done. That's the last one I need, just so we'll know where we are with it. And yep, looks good. And these right here, over here, I can move status to right here. Now, here's what we have to do for the shortcut. Now we can start on the shortcut. All right, so here we are inside the Shortcuts app. I'm just gonna click the plus sign and I'm gonna name this. I'm gonna say add entry to database. And I'm gonna call this shared because this is gonna be the one I share with you. All right, so first things first. When we're doing this, remember when it comes to shortcuts, it's kind of like programming. You want to start from the first step all the way down. All right, so the very first thing we're going to want to do is set up that template. We want to pull in that template, so let's do that. So I'm going to add a comment. You don't have to, but this is just something I do. I just put a quick little thing about what this shortcut does. All right, so you can see I just put this shortcut allows me to quickly add tasks to my master task database in Notion. And I've learned to start putting whatever shortcuts or whatever applications or apps that this shortcut rely on, because it's been too many times I've had to debug something just to find out I'm missing an app, and that's the holdup. So once that's done, now we can come over here and we can say data jar. We can pull that down, and then we can say get value. So let's see, get value is right here. And this is what we want. Now, what I should have done, but we'll do this in a second, is had it in a split screen, but this is what we want, master task manager. So I'm just gonna say copy key or copy value. They both do the same thing. But if we look back over here, there's an accent for key path. So we can say copy key path. So copy key path, I grabbed it, which is gonna be the title. You can paste it right here. This is case sensitive, which means that if you're however it's typed is how you have to type it. If it's lowercase, it has to be lowercase. If it's uppercase, it has to be uppercase. It is case sensitive. If you get that wrong, it will not work. All right. Now, what we want to do is we want to grab automate. And right here, what we want to do is we want to scroll down to where it says, should be like create paragraph or something like that. Okay, so here it is right here, create text block. So we're gonna grab it, we're gonna drop it right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to add in this value right here. So we can click right there. You can see it now got that connection. And the next thing we want to do is we want to change the variable. So we're going to say add variable, and we're going to drop it right here. And then we're going to just type in blocks. Now, this could be uppercase or lowercase, but I'm going to just say blocks. And I'm going to come back and say B for lowercase. And we want to make sure we add an S. You want to make sure you do this. It's going to be important that you do it with each one, okay? Now that that's done, we got the first part out. Basically, this first block is that template we just created. So at the bottom of the page is going to have those questions, so to speak, or whatever template you created. That's what this little chunk does. Now we want to move on to the next part. Now, when we look at we can close out of that and we can come back over to Notion. When we look at the first thing, so the first thing is asking us, ask name of task. That part is kind of easy. So what we want to do is we're going to build this out a little bit differently because you have to remember when you're running a shortcut, you want it to make sense to you. So if I'm running a shortcut, I wanted to start with type because that's how my mind works. So I want the first thing I see to be type, or it could be task. So what we're going to do is we're going to have it set up as asking for the task, asking for, no, my mind works off type. All right, so I'm going to go with type first. So in order to do that, we're going to just pull this down and we're going to click right here. This is what we need to see: personal, friends, kids, work, home. Again, all of this, what we're going to do is case sensitive. All right. So what I want to do is I want to create a list. So I'm going to say list. All right. And I'm going to say home. We want it to be in the exact same order. I'm going to say work. I'm going to say kids. And we could double check to make sure I'm doing the work right. We're going to say personal, friends, kids, work, home. Okay. And right here, I'm going to say friends, and we're going to say personal. Now, we can rearrange these by just dragging up, but honestly, with this part, it doesn't have to be in a specific order. It's okay. After we do that, what we want to use is a choose from menu. So choose from menu. So I'm gonna grab the choose from list. If we was using a menu, then we would do a menu, but we're doing a list, so we're gonna do a choose from list. All right. And next, what I'm going to do is create my next list, and that's going to be, go back over here. That's going to be our task and notes. Everything else I don't need to do. Now, if you want to fill out all of this from your shortcut, you can, but the status, well, we could do status as well. We can do type type is what we need. Status, if we want to do effort, we could, but honestly, we're not 100% sure on that stuff yet. So we're not going to do that. We're going to do type because that's our category, and we're going to do ask for name, and we're going to do any notes based around that task. All right. So I'm going to say ask for input. The prompt is going to be, what's the task name? That's going to be question mark. And then after that, the next one is going to be another ask for input. It's going to be, do you have any notes? Or I could say, what are you thinking? Because it allows me to elaborate on it, but you can put whatever makes more sense to you. Right here, I'm going to just do something and say, I'm going to type in a word that says nothing, and I'm going to drop it down just so I can pull this up a little bit. So I just double clicked it, and that pulls it up from the bottom, which is what I wanted to do. And the next thing we're going to do is I kind of feel like you might want to create one with all of these. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it. If you don't, then obviously you don't have to do it, but I want to be extra thorough. So I'm going to say, let's see, which ones have we done already? We've done, this is going to be for type. All right. So the next one I want to do is going to be, actually, we're going to pull this up. Only because the way I'm looking at this, if I'm giving a name, I'm giving that. I'm, see, my mind don't work like that. All right, so I'm not going to pull that up. But if you want to pull it up, you can. I kind of feel like you might want to put these at the top and then be able to say what type of list it is. But for me, my mind doesn't work like that. So if you do, it's as simple as dragging it up to have it run in a different order. All right. Next, what I want to do is I want to add another list. And I'm going to drop that list right here. Because once I've done all of that, now what I want to do is I want to do the status. So status, we only got 4 options. So the first option is not started. And if I'm not mistaken, it just shortcuts crashed on me. It happens. Let's see, in progress. So we're going to say in progress. If I'm not mistaken, this one would be done. And this one would be dropped. But we're going to fact check that to make sure. And done, drop, both capitalized. Cool. So now I'm going to say choose from list. So we're going to say choose from list. We're going to drop it right there. Actually, that's a choose from menu. It's not what we want. We want to choose from list. And now that's set. And now we need one more list. So I'm going to say list. It's going to come up a little bit. And the last one, if I'm not mistaken, is effort. So easy, medium, hard, insane. All right, those are easy enough. So we're going to put easy. This is going to be medium, hard, and insane. Then we're going to grab another choose from list. We're going to drop it right here. And now we should be good to go. Now that we have everything set up, because right now, the very first thing going to happen when we run the shortcut is going to add that text block. After it does that, it's going to ask us for like what type of list it is. Then it's going to ask us for our inputs. At that point, it's going to ask us what our status is, which is right here. And then after that, it's going to ask us for our next one. Now, in order to make this work, we have to use a dictionary. A dictionary is a fancy way of saying an array or a list. It's like a step above a list, if you will, because you can have dictionary lists inside of lists, things like that. So the way this works is really simple. We're going to say dictionary, if I can spell, and we're going to drop this right below here. So that's not what we want. That's what we want. All right, so I'm going to go up one. I'm going to delete that. And now I'm actually going to do nothing. I'm going to drop a few of these in so it'll be easier for me to work with it and I'm not all the way down here. So now what I want to do is I want to say text. All of these, by the way, are going to be text. And you see where it says key? Your key has to match whatever you have over here in the order you have it in. So you can see this says task name. Then over here, my key would be task name. I can say text. I think I have 5. This is how it's going to know where to put everything. Then I have notes. So I can put notes right here. If I'm not mistaken, the next one is status. And let's make sure I'm correct. Task name, note, status. Let's see here. We have effort and type. So effort, we're going to do type. And the last one should be text, which is going to be, and we're going to pull completed up above here. And completed, this is like, honestly, this technically would be a Boolean. So when we press this, we could say Boolean because it's true or false. But I just put it as text because honestly, I'm not going to use it, so it doesn't really matter. But if you did want to use it, then you would say, you would make that a Boolean and it would be either true or false. So now for task name, what I would do is I would say select variable. And I'm going to come up here and I'm going to find this one right here that says task name. And then for notes, I'm going to click up in there. I'm going to say select variable. I'm going to come back up here. And where it says, let's see here. What are you thinking? I'm going to say ask for input. My status is going to be select a variable. And the status is going to be right here. So you can see this is going to be my status box right here. So I will want to choose from this one. So I'm going to click right there. My effort, I'm going to say select variable. And for effort is going to be right here, which is easy, medium, hard, insane. And then type, my type is going to be select variable. If I'm not mistaken, type is going to be up at the top. So I'm going to say select variable. I'm going to come all the way back up here. And this is going to be my type. And I'm going to say selected item. All right. Now, once that's done, for the most part, you're finished. All the hard part is done. Now the only thing we have to do is use Automate to put all of this information into Notion. So let me show you how we would do that. So we're going to come back over here, and we're going to go to Automate, and we're going to look for Add Entry to Database. Let's see if it's in alphabetical order, and it is. Add Entries to Database. So we're going to click on that. I double clicked it. I should have clicked it once. We're going to pull it up here. Great. We're going to select the variable. The variable that we're going to select is dictionary. We're going to leave it at dictionary. We're not going to touch any of that. And our database is going to be the only database we have access to. We're not going to do the master content pipeline. We're going to do master task list. I think that's it. And we're going to drop down. And right here where it says blocks, we need to come here and we need to choose blocks. This is how this right here, this is why we had to set up add text block. That's what this is. That's why we had to do that. All right. Now everything is set up and we should be able to run this and it should work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say play. All right, it's asking me what type of task is this? So I'm gonna say personal. It says what's the task name? Let's say decompress. It says what are you thinking? Let's say golf range because actually that sounds really good right about now. So, then it says it's asking me what do I want? I could say not started. Which one? So this is an easy task. And we get a ton of errors. All right, nothing works the first time, so let's find out what's going on, what's wrong. So I'm going to say okay. It says body unified, undefined, undefined, undefined. Okay, so clearly there's something with this right here. Okay, so let's see what's going on. Let's just double check everything. And we're going to try one more time. Now, the only thing that I can see that's incorrect up in this entire thing is this right here. So let's try let's try changing. Let's copy this and let's delete this out because technically that field isn't a text field, it's a Boolean. And we can have it set up like this. Now, if this doesn't work, I might just delete that out altogether and not even address that field. But I feel like that's the problem. But let's see. We're going to hit play. We're going to say home. We're going to say demo. We're going to say testing. And we're going to say done. We're going to say not started, easy. And hopefully we don't get no error messages. All right, so that was the problem because obviously it's supposed to be a Boolean. All right, so let's go over here to Notion and let's see if it popped up. Now, it's not gonna pop up while it's open, so we have to close it out. And if we just go right back into Notion, it should be there. And you can see it's right there. And you can see the whole thing is set up. Now, if we close out of Notion, and we close out of this. Let's see, what did I name this? Add entry to database. And we're going to run it from here. So we're going to say add entry to database shared. And I'm going to say enter. This is going to be personal. This is going to be, we got to detach it from and use the on-screen keyboard. So I'm going to say decompress. Decompress. I'm going to say golf. I'm going to say hit a few golf balls, which is actually very satisfying. Hit a few golf balls. I'm going to say done. I'm going to say not started yet. This is very easy. And hopefully it goes through. And it did. Now we can come back over to Notion. And let's see if it's there, which I'm sure it is. And you can see it's right there. Decompress, hit a few golf balls. And you can see as you scroll through here, you can see the type is personal, home, and that's how we'd be able to sift. Then you can see effort is easy, status is not started. If I wanted to drop this, I could drop it, and then I could change this filter, and I could say, what is it? Let's see here, status. And I would say select one or more options. I would say not started, done, and I will say that. Then I would say done. So that way it's filtering out everything except. So if I drop something, it automatically goes away. So if I click on not started and I say I'm dropping that, now you can see it's back to this. It's always there. I just have to remove this filter. Or I could have made it easier and deleted all of this. And I could, let's uncheck all of that. I can say is not dropped. I'm trying to tell you, doing this on an iPad is not the easiest way to do it. But I'm going to say unclick this, unclick that, unclick that. I'm going to say done. Now I'm going to come back over here to filters. I'm going to say status. And I'm going to say is not. And I'm going to click on drop. Then I'm going to say done. Okay, so let's remove this. I'm wondering, like, why is it doing that? But okay, we're going to remove those statuses. And now we're going to say status is not dropped. I'm going to say done. And now you can see that's how it's easy for you to filter out and things like that. Now, again, this was one of the more, I want to say, complex shortcuts to deal with. But I'm telling you, when you get the hang of it, like, this is super duper powerful. I highly recommend you take the time out to learn this shortcut. Again, if you didn't deal with Automate or you're not sure about Data Jar, I'm going to link up both videos right below here. You can check those out. Come back here. It'll make a lot more sense to you. Hopefully you enjoyed this because I'm telling you, I played around with this for a very long time. And when I finally figured out how to do it, I was blown away. When I checked on the internet, literally I couldn't find out one video of someone showing me how to automate Notion database in a way that I felt like would be easy for me to show you. So hopefully you appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Till next time, I'm telling you, like, this is fantastic. But all right, I get out. I I will catch you in the next video. I'm geeking out, but I'll catch you in the next video. Till next time. Later.